Hey, today's March 7th, and in this week's weekly video fishing forecast, you can expect more content preview from the March Glossy edition, events, and reports of cod and pollock out of Montauk and Capt.
The fishing news is sponsored by these fine partners.
Get to your dealer now for the Power and Performance Sales Event. Get up to 7 years of Yamaha warranty protection free. Or earn up to $200 in dealer credit. Yamaha Power and Performance has never been a better value.
Just in case you weren't aware, the March Glossy issue of the Fisherman magazine has been on newsstands for about a week now. We have another preview for you going to the local section of the magazine. We got Young Guns in the Old Guard by Doug Toback. He's the captain on the Core Zone. It's about young fishermen and how they're impacting the future of our fishery. Then we have the Connie, that's the Connect Quad, paying for it. As you know, it's a $25 fee to fish at this place, but it's well worth it. That's by Robert Nelson. Then we have Long Island spoon-fed trout. They are stocking the lake soon. You better be ready by reading this one. Get ready, get those spoons. Await the stocking trucks. That's by Tony Durso. Check this out and more in the March Glossy edition. This technique gets a lot of hype in Jersey. Don't see it on Long Island too much, but here's another open boat special from Jenny. Check it out.
Hi everyone, welcome to this week's Open Boat. Today we're in Hazlitt at the Tackle Box, the legendary Fish 36, a tackle shop loaded with history, and we're here with Phil, and he's going to give us a rundown on basically a striper season cheat code bait here, the worm ball.
Thank you, Jenny. So I'm going to just tell you how we came up with the worm ball. Historically, the first striped bass are caught this time of year on the bayshore flats. So what happens is the fish come in and pick on the mud for worms, and when you get a couple warm sunny days at low tide, that sun warms that mud, and then when the water runs over it, the temperature goes up 3 or 4 degrees, the fish turn on and they pick for the worms. So we would go early season with bait holder hooks and bloodworms, sandworms. The problem was, you know, when you put 3 or 4 on the hook and you cast it, they would fall off. So about 10 years ago, one of my employees, Matt Calabria, who's now the mate on the Just Saying, came up with this little genius idea, and we called it the worm ball. So I'm just going to go over how to make one. You can use bloodworms, sandworms. This week we have bloodworms. So what we do is we take a shop rag and we cut it into pieces where the hem is. So that's a double hem there, and that's really strong. We put it on an inline circle hook. That's a 5/0. I'm using the Salt X from Tsunami and a 30-pound fluorocarbon leader from Yozuri. I like the pink stuff. It's invisible, more so than any other color. And we use the number 2 barrel swivel on there. So it's about 24-inch leader. So we take the double hem and we put it on the hook. You can't get that off. So that's going to be our little rag where we're going to tie the worms on. This serves as 2 purposes. Holds the ball with the bait thread, and then we soak the rag with Finessence clam oil. And this is the magic cheat code right here. So if you're on a beach with 30 guys, the guy with the Finessence is getting all the hits. It has a pheromone in it, and it causes the fish to eat when they're not even hungry. So that's one of the main things about the worm balls, is the Finessence. So we take a couple bloodworms, and you're not even putting them on the hook. You're just laying them on this rag, like this. Then you take the bait thread. I'm going to put it on, just loop it on the hook before I start wrapping. Get it on there. And you're just going to wrap these worms on this rag. It's a little messy, but once you have one made, it's actually reusable. So we wrap the first couple on, like that. Then we can lay it down and put a couple more right on top of that. I'll show you in a second. This is like surgery, Jenny. So we're wrapping that up like that. Now you have this. Now you're going to take the excess and fold it on top of one another and then wrap that. And we're making a ball. And you're just going to wrap it with the thread. It doesn't have to be neat. So that's pretty much your worm ball. You know, and you could cut the string and tie it in a knot. So it's going to end up looking like this. And then we take the finessence and we douse this rag and the string in it. And then you can keep it for days in a plastic bag. If you need more worms, you add it and wrap. A couple drops of this. You can freeze this if you're not using it. And this stays and is reusable every trip. So people are like, oh my God, that's so much money. It must be $50 worth of worms. Well, if you bought a dozen worms and you made a couple worm balls, it can last you for weeks. And that's pretty much the history of the worm ball right there. That
is the most interesting bait I've ever seen for early season stripers. I mean, if you're a striper, how would you not want that?
Right. It's irresistible.
Irresistible, absolutely. Definitely remember your circle hooks, guys. And
inline circle. So what happens is the fish come and eat this, but they get hooked up here and they don't even touch the worm ball. So you get it back almost every time. If you lose one, you can add it. But reusable. Keep them in Ziploc bags, and then just keep adding finessence clam oil or worms as needed.
So if you wanted to be targeting early season stripers, definitely stop into the tackle box, come see Phil and get some blood worms, and tell him that you saw the open boat on worm balls, and he'll give you a good little shout out. And I think there have been some whispers already of some keeper stripers caught on the worm ball now.
Yeah, a lot of fish are already on worms, and the guys using the worm ball have great success. So yeah, it's definitely the first thing you want to do until the water gets warm and they start chasing, you know, soft plastics and SPs and stuff. Early season striped bass, always hit the worms first.
Definitely throw some worm balls. Thank you guys, and we'll catch you on next week's Open Boat.
Well, we do have a winner, James Cogger. He knew the image from the early 50s from the Lindenhurst that shows Strong's Creek and Canal between 8th Street and 9th Street. Great Bay Marine now occupies the creek on the lower part of the photograph, and Kell's Family Boating Center sells boats and operates a marina from the basin at the top of the image. What's interesting is that this photo was taken before Capt State Park was built in 1954. And the headboats departed from the canals and creeks along the south shore of the Long Island. The basin in this image shows a fishing station where you would take out a small skiff for a day out to the water. If you do have an old image related to fishing back in the day, please send it to my producer, Tim C. Smith. Send him an email at tcslibbayrat@gmail.com. Let's head on over to some upcoming events. We have the Lindenhurst Spring Fishing Flea Market. That's in Lindenhurst at the Fireman's Pavilion. Doors open at 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. For more information, go to fishingfleamarkets.com. Then March 15th through 17th is the Saltwater Fishing Expo. Huge event. That's at the New Jersey Convention Center. It's in Edison, New Jersey. It opens noon on Friday and goes to 5 o'clock p.m. on Sunday. Go to sportshows.com for more information.
The Long Island Boat and Fishing Show is back at the Nassau Coliseum March 15th through the 17th. Long Island's best boat and tackle dealers will be there with huge savings, free parking all weekend, and Friday free admission for first responders and military. For boat show information, visit nyboatshows.com. Saturday, March 16th is the 7th annual Fly Fishing Expo of Long Island at the Radisson Hotel and Hop Hog. Don't miss the best fly tires, manufacturers' guides, and more. Admission $10 and kids under 18 free with a paid adult. Visit LongIslandFlyFishingExpo.org for all the details. Marine Made of Lindenhurst is holding their annual spring sale March 23rd through April 6th. Bottom paint from $79 per gallon. Save big on engine parts, outboard oil, cleaners, waxes, and more. Daily raffles and your chance to win big prizes. Visit marinemade.com for all the details. The Babylon Fisherman's Flea Market is now better than ever in its new location. The American Legion, 22 Grove Place, Babylon. Save the date, Sunday, March 24th, 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. Over 50 tables with new and used fishing gear. Get all your fishing questions answered by the Pro Roundtable, streaming live on Facebook. Get all the details at fishermanfleamarket.com.
For more info on any of these events, visit thefisherman.com/events. Be sure to subscribe to the Fisherman magazine or renew at one of these upcoming events. When you do subscribe or renew for $30, you get a $20 gift card to Surehold Products and a Tsunami 4-inch Tidal Pro iPop popper. And you're automatically eligible to enter to the Dreamboat contest. All right, let's head over to the map. We have some more reports this week, pretty active, so let's head on over. In Montauk, Captain JR reported another excellent trip aboard the Viking Star for their annual Nantucket Wreck special. They run these trips every once in a while. Loads of codfish, some nice pollock, extremely busy, rods bent all around the boat. They did end the trip with an easy boat limit of cod and a great catch of pollock. The first place cod pool winner was Kevin McCain from Staten Island. He had an 18-pounder. Then the three next places were all cod, 14-pound fish. Rory Gregson from Newtown, Connecticut, Greg Morgan from New Milford, Connecticut, and Bob Henry from Valley Stream, New York. They had the 14-pound codfish. Then the edible pool winner was Lewis Miller from Fort Edward, New York. He had a 21-pound hammer pollock, great fish. Moving back down island to Capt, Captain Joe on the King Cod said he had a great day Friday with a very light crowd. Bounced around spot to spot. They had some great weather for fishing. They did some drifting and anchoring. Both the bait and the jigs did produce cod. They did have a good shot of keepers and enough shorts to keep it interesting. Keep an eye on their schedule. They will be sailing every week. Mike over at Saltwaters. He's in West Islip. He said that Rattlesnake Creek had some rainbow and brook trout over the weekend. Doughballs, night crowers, they wanted those real baits. Whole night crowers were a great option. Both good baits. Then, heading over to Huntington, we have Carmine from Campsite. He said that some of the first stripers of the year made their appearance in the Western Sound. This might be a sign of some early fishing. It's been warm out, so definitely those stripers are stirring right now, coming out of the creeks, starting to come down. On the freshwater side of things, he did mention Shinnecock being steady again for trout. Nuno from Tidal, he's up in New Rochelle. He said some of the surf fishermen started poking around already. They had stripers to about 30 inches in the back of Manhasset, Little Neck, and New Rochelle areas. Small soft plastics. He said that the 4-inch owl gag tails were killer. Rapala X-Wraps were doing well also. Small SP minnows, Yozuris, all good stuff. The stripers are showing up. We got some warm weather coming. It's that time of the year. You know, if you do have a notable catch, the fishing's starting to get going, do email me at mbroderick@thefisherman.com. I want to see those first striper pictures of the year. Send them on over, and I'll get them into the weekly video fishing forecast or the magazine.
For more than 20 years, anglers everywhere have come to know one thing, that nothing says no to fish bites.
We're going to check in with Captain Timothy O'Rourke from Montauk. Tim.
Thank you, Matt. Well, greetings everybody from Montauk. It's been, as everybody knows, haven't really made a report in a while. It's been kind of quiet, but I have some good news to report. The Viking has been doing their Nantucket Wreck trips. They went last weekend. They limited out on codfish. They had a bunch of other fish. I have a couple pictures. They said that it was so busy that they really didn't get a chance to take many pictures. So that's a good sign. They're doing another one this weekend. It's reservation only. I believe it leaves Friday night and it comes back super early Sunday morning. So you'll be home in time for St. Patty's Day. Other than that, we have the Long Island Fly Fishing Expo coming up. I'll be there representing Sage Rods. I've donated a half-day trip, so you can come win a trip, and there's a bunch of other good prizes there. Paul McCain puts that on every year, and it's a really good event. Everything's starting to turn around here. We got some daffodils coming up. I would tell you, keep an eye on the sky for some ospreys, and we'll be catching striped bass before you know it. So next week, hopefully I'll have another cod report, and I will talk to you then. Thank you, Matt.
From Shinnecock, let's check in with Mike Dean.
Thanks, Matt. Hey, everyone. Hope you're holding up all right with the off-season. We're really getting close. That nice weather on Sunday really had me really chomping at the bit to try to get out there, but, you know, they're not here yet. So if they're not here, they're not here. There are some holdover stripers if you're looking to put in a good number of hours. You know, small little paddle tails, curly tails. There's still there's white perch around, some freshwater opportunities with brown trout. I won an Instagram giveaway that Joe Baggs did about a week or two ago. Got his sand eel imitator, a pack of these, which, you know, similar to the bass sass, and it's typically what I catch my first spring bass on, of that, you know, kind of like spearing small bait, you know, darting almost kind of action, and then, you know, a few other bigger ones for when the bigger fish come through. Looking forward to using some small darters by SC Custom Lures. He has a 4-inch, 5.5-inch, 6.5-inch. So really starting to kind of like scout out some spots in the back bays that I want to hit. You know, looking just to kind of like train my eyes on the beach for, you know, spotting those drifts, spotting those spots that you want to, you know, concentrate on, even though we're ways away from any striped bass in the ocean, at least off of the beach. So hopefully soon enough, you know, we're only about a month away from when, you know, things should start going. So hopefully you got enough gear at a lot of the shows. Hopefully you did some maintenance on your existing stuff, and we'll be at it. Just side note, Manhattan Cup, June 7th, Friday, June 7th, Liberty Landing. We have registration open. We're starting to plan. So if you'd like to join us as a captain to donate your boat for the day, if you'd like to join us as a sponsor or any capacity, please reach out to me, either on Instagram, on the ManhattanCup.com website. And all right, let's get ready to fish. Back to you, Matt.
From Northport, we have the Cow Harbor Bait and Tackle report.
Holy cow. These repair work, it goes nonstop right through the winter into the spring. Now everybody's waking up with this warm weather. You know, the trout, they're getting stocked. Go to the New York State website and check it out. Phil just told me, make sure you tell everybody they're starting to put out the stocking. They put up the schedule, so see when your area is going to get some of these wonderful rainbow and brown trout. And locally on some of the beaches, fish is starting to kind of nibble. Seen some bass getting caught. To the west, over there by Frogs Neck Bridge area, you know, we're seeing adult bunker, got some herring in the mix, still some seals around, so that means bait's in. We're going to be looking for that big spearing spawn that should be happening. The spearing start moving in again this time. They should be packing in the back areas. They're going to be targeting those grass shrimp. Going to have a lot of bait. Remember last year, grass shrimp was like, boom, it's huge. So I imagine this year again with mild winters, and we get like a straight week of some beautiful warm weather. Look around the moons, you're going to have another big grass shrimp hatch here. And it's a great way to work the eelgrass, whether you're working kayak from the beach or the boat. It's just fantastic. Still early for the boats. I'm not seeing people out on the boat unless they're commercial guys. And but everybody's waking up and starting to stir. Staying busy here. Phil out doing all the reels and maintenance work like that. Me in the rod shop. And Sean is working heavy, busting out all these rigs. So everybody's staying busy. Huntington shop is opening April 1st, and both shops, Northport and Huntington, will change their hours on April 1st. And we're going to be stocked up with the bait. Gear keeps coming in, restock, you know. So we're looking to really make the shop shine and make everybody happy. Remember, we do a lot of, we fillet a lot of fish for people here, and that means you got to have sharp knives, whether you fillet it or not. We will come in and sharpen your knife up. We do a lot of kitchen knives, a lot of fillet knives. Really important. With these fluke regulations, you don't want to waste one bit of meat, you know, with a lot of these fish. So drop by the shop. We'll sharpen those knives up for you. Do a great job and take care of any kind of service work that you might need. Again, thank you so much for your family support. This has been a tough year, right, for a lot of businesses. But Phil and I, we're always working hard for our customers, and it's so wonderful when we get positive feedback and smiles. Thank you very much for supporting our family business, and it was great talking with everybody over some of the winter shows. I always look forward to seeing people. And until next week, I bid you all peace and tight lines.
From the Fire Island area, we have Captain Al Lorenzetti.
Hey Matt, Fire Island report this week. The only fishing report I got is good cod fishing. When the weather's good and you can get out there on those, you know, 120-foot wrecks, that type of thing, you know, 20 miles off the beach. Good codfish, some pollock as well. And so, you know, that's the only fishing report I have other than my boat. My new motor's getting put on today. We're down at Great Bay Marine. My 2021's coming off, and my brand new 2024 is here, and they're going to install it on the boat. So I'm looking forward to a great season, Matt. We'll talk to you next week.
With the fly in freshwater, we check in with Paul McCain.
Hello, Matt. It's been crazy. I'm working on my computer here. Kenny's working on his computer at his house. We're trying to get presentations lined up. We're trying to get the seating done. We're in crunch time. It's going to be some crazy, crazy days ahead. But let me tell you, this is going to be the biggest and the best expo ever. On March 16th, you better be there at 9 o'clock. Get in there while you can. A lot of good deals. Now, as far as the fishing goes, well, it's still, you know, we had some beautiful weather this past weekend. And I did hear of some people that actually went out and they were able to catch some fish. Even upstate, up in Westchester and just in Connecticut, the rivers were doing very well. They did get some rain. They did bump up a little bit, but they will drop pretty fast, you know, as the week goes on. And we're going to get in some, well, they said more rain this week, so we'll see. The Connecticut is doing well. I'm getting ready for the salt water. I can't wait for the salt water. I think 3 weeks, right after the show. I'm not doing anything till after the show, right? I'm going to get out there and start looking at the back bays on, you know, those warm days. Those fish start coming in, and I'm looking forward to it. As far as the steelheading goes, I've been hearing that the Lake Erie trips have been doing still pretty good, but you got to go. You got to be there to you know, catch them. You can't do it by sitting on the couch. I've been busy. I did take a break this morning and did some fly tying. I needed that. It's crazy out there. So, see you on March 16th, and next week, tie lines, everybody.
Let's check on it with Max Finch from the Connecticut side of the Western Sound.
This past week, I've seen some nicer fish taken on the Housatonic in the upper parts. You know, at nighttime, guys throwing their favorite soft plastics like GTs, Lunker City, on lead heads. Guys are also getting them on sinking SPs and floating SPs in the Naugatuck area and Sullivan's Island. Just look for the bite to keep getting better and better as we move into spring. Hopefully we have a good showing of springtime herring like blueback and alewives that'll really fire the bite up. I've had some incredible bites myself, you know, up at the Derby Dam and then the mouth of the Naugatuck. On the trout side, you know, our local rivers and streams have been fishing well. Myanus, Norwalk River, the Mill. And then you got to catch and release right now, so remember to follow your local rules and regulations for each stream. And then, you know, the herring, the saltwater herring hasn't been really that good. It was good for a little while, spotty, and then now it's just kind of tinkering off. I know there's some herring way, way, way down west, I've heard, towards, you know, the East River and then the Greenwich area, but it's still really spotty. But other than that, that fishery is going to start ending and everybody's getting really excited for the spring. Thanks and good luck.
Captain Mike Sentry has the latest from Staten Island.
What's happening, guys? Mike Sentry here. What can I say? March is here, a lot of rain. Temperatures are definitely warming up. Bass are definitely in the bay. Arthur Kill, Raritan River, Navesink River. Pretty much anywhere you want to go, you'll find bass, and you're going to find a lot of bunker. A lot of guys have been catching some decent sized stripers from the shore using bloodworms and sandworms, balls. That for me is a little bit expensive. A couple guys been catching them on chunks of bunker, which that is more cost effective. Those guys that are on the boats right now, they're pretty much dropping them down with 1 ounce to ½ ounce. It's like a finesse fish, a very small, slender fish, usually for freshwater fishing. So that's been pretty successful, and that's pretty much looking forward to it. Next week I got the first chart of the year, and looking forward to it. This weekend is going to be a washout, all this rain, so it's going to pretty much have the bay and the rivers pretty muddied up. So with that said, get ready. It's going to be an exciting March. So tight lines, and I'll see you guys next week for the report.
Ben Gilmour has the latest from Capos, Costa Rica.
Guys, how's it going? Just a quick fishing report from down here in Costa Rica. The incredible fishing continues down here. Only yesterday aboard Good Day, we released 16 sailfish and we caught a huge bull dorado, over 30 pounds and 53 inches. Just incredible fishing. There's been a couple of marlin out there, not too many. The water's been pretty warm down here. kind of 85, 86 most days at the moment. So not too many marlin biting at the moment. But we got some yellowfin tuna out there. Some big tuna caught this week, over 100 pounds, quite a few yellowfins over 100. And inshore along the beaches and the rocks, there's been some really solid rooster fishing. My buddy the other day caught a 50-pound rooster fish, and there's been some big snook. Costa Rica is famous for Pacific black snook. The world record was caught down here, just under 60 pounds. And this is the place to come, guys, if you want to catch a trophy snook. Check us out. This is Ben Gilmour, Jackpot Sport Fishing, and the Marina Pez Vela, Costa Rica.
Don't forget this video is available as a podcast on iTunes and Google Music. Search for the Fisherman Magazine podcast and subscribe so you can listen to this broadcast along with our other content. Keep in mind this Sunday we do have the Lindenhurst Fishing Flea Market. Great little event. Also, if you want to get fishing, remember some stripers are starting to stir. There's some cod trips going on. White perch are in the creeks and trout will be stocked very soon in the lakes. Send those pictures in. Have a good week.